I want to introduce one of the greatest marijuana activists the world has ever seen. The guy was doing it a couple of years before everybody else. I think in 1989 with the League of Ethical Action on Drugs here in Vancouver. Our local boy and sugar daddy, Dana Larsen!
That's the most amazing introduction I've ever had. I've known Marc Emery for most of my adult life, and I've worked for pretty much all of my adult life to help legalize marijuana and to end this terrible war that affects so many of us, all in Canada and around the world, in so many horrible ways. And I worked with Marc on Cannabis Culture magazine for 10 years. And after Marc was no longer able to sell marijuana seeds, I helped co-found the Vancouver Seed Bank so we could make sure that those seeds remained available. And I looked around and saw there wasn't enough medical marijuana outlets in the city, so I helped open the Vancouver Cannabis dispensary right next door. And if you want to come by on Monday, you'll see we're opening a new outlet in the West End. We're going to be having an open house that day at 1182 Thurlow Street. And we're going to keep on opening these places and making sure that medical marijuana is available to everybody in this city, in this province, in this country. Because we know that there is no greater plant on this earth than the cannabis plant. There is no other plant that even comes close to the amazing healing powers of the marijuana flower and the amazing industrial benefits of the cannabis plant in all of its ways, from fibers to the biomass that can be made for fuel, to the amazingly powerful nutritional benefits of the seed and the oil. There is no other plant that comes close, and we need the powers of this plant now more than ever to help heal this planet, to transition us from petroleum back to cannabis, where we should never have left in the first place. And working with Marc Emery, I've been inspired, and I've learned so much from this man. Such a sense of generosity and of giving, and of using the implements of our culture to help change these laws, and take the money that we make and put it back into that change. This is a historical moment, and all of us here are part of history, and future generations will look back to us and to this time as the time when we ended this terrible war that has gone on for so long. None of us here have ever lived in a time when marijuana was legal. This war has gone on for so long, for so many generations, that sometimes it seems normal, and it seems as if this is the way that things have always been. But it's not. And we are living in many ways in a nightmare. And it is time for us to wake up from that dream, to make something better, to make that change. And we can all do that, and we are doing that now. And when we first started this crusade so many years ago, hemp was not being grown legally in Canada. Medical marijuana was not available. And most people did not know about the amazing powers of this plant. Bongs and pipes could not be sold openly. High Times magazine and incredible books like The Emperor Wears No Clothes were not legally available in this country. And it is because of people like Marc Emery that these books are available, that this knowledge is available, that quality glass and bongs and pipes are available, that vaporizers are available for us to use. It is because of this effort that we have medical marijuana, that you can freely go and buy seeds, that without too much effort, if you have an ailment, you can go and get legal medical marijuana, or that you can go and buy medical marijuana somewhere in this city and in this country. We have made huge strides. Legal hemp is being grown across Canada, not as much as there should be, but it's definitely a good start, and we can make a lot of progress. But these things can all be rolled back. We have not won yet. But when I was a child in the 70s, people thought that marijuana was going to be legal. And oh, it's going to happen any day now. Any day now, they're about to legalize. That's not how it works. It's not a moment of any day. It's a moment of us making this continual effort to change these laws and to end this prohibition. And we are also on the verge in Canada in many ways of taking some huge steps back. And you've heard about some of the terrible things that could be coming under Stephen Harper's mandatory minimums law. And we cannot let this pass. We have to make this change happen now so that we don't pass it on to our children and to our grandchildren to keep having to fight these battles, to keep having to suffer in prison. This is not what we want to do. We want to make these changes now, and we can do that. So I want you to feel proud that you're here. I want you to feel proud that you are part of the cannabis culture, a culture which stretches back before recorded history and which encompasses the globe. People all around the world are celebrating cannabis culture and protesting Marc Emery's extradition today. This movement has grown into something that cannot be stopped. If we continue to push this pressure on, then we can look to our children and our grandchildren in the eye, and we can say that we made a difference. We can say that you can live in freedom because of what we did, because of the sacrifices we have made today. So I urge you to be inspired by Marc Emery and the other leaders of this movement, because anybody can do these things. There's nothing special or magical about Marc Emery or David Malma-Levine or any of the other people who have made these sacrifices. It's about making a choice to make the world a better place. It's about taking a risk. It's about using your intelligence and your skill and making a difference so that you can pass on a better planet and a better Canada to your children. So I urge you to think of what you can do, to go on the internet to freemark.ca or cannabisculture.com, to come down to our storefronts at our locations and find out how you can make a difference. Even just spending 20 minutes or half an hour a day, every day, can be the change that we need to push this over the top and to end these laws forever. So never forget that what we're doing today will be looked upon through history, and that we are doing this not for ourselves, but for future generations, and that we're going to end this war and wake up from this nightmare. Legalize marijuana, free Marc Emery, free ourselves!